Fed Chairman Kevin Warsh may have just changed the game of how investments work. Stick around and I'll tell you how. I'm Ian Morrison from the Cornerstone Financial Group. We are committed to helping guide you through finances, retirement, and the markets with technical wisdom and biblically sound advice. Today, we're going to be talking about this new Fed Chairman, Kevin Warsh. Well, a few weeks ago, Jay Powell's term was up and Kevin Warsh was sworn in. He had his first Federal Open Market Committee meeting on June 17th. And after the meeting, per his tradition, he came out and he spoke to the people. Now, as he was speaking, he started out reaffirming his commitment to what the Fed has always stated they're committed to, and that is price stability or inflation, and employment, which is also unemployment, making sure it's a strong jobs market. Those two things have not changed, but the way in which he's going about those things is changing. There's a few things. Number one is he said we need better reports. Historically, when a report is issued, it will be revised and then revised again and then revised again. And by the third revision, it's usually pretty good data. But he's saying that's all retrospective. When you're a CEO of a company, you want up-to-date, good data that is current. It's really hard to make good decisions when your data is retrospective multiple weeks because things change very quickly in the economy. And so he's committed to getting better data, and he's forming teams of people who are ready to, as he says, have many family arguments or disagreements to work together, people from different viewpoints, and he's even mentioned different countries to come together to help us sort through a complex economic situation. I think that's a huge win. And the way he talks about it, I have high hopes for the future. But we'll see how it actually gets implemented before making any major changes. Now, here's the big thing that he changed. He stopped issuing forward guidance. Historically, for many decades now, the Fed has begun issuing and influencing the markets through saying, this is what we think we will do. This is what we foresee happening. And this is my thoughts on it from what I've seen and heard over many years. They're often wrong. But what they do is it influences the markets whether they're right or wrong. Thus the adage, don't fight the Fed. Well, Kevin Warsh said, hey, we're not going to do any more forward guidance. We're cutting that out a lot. And one of the reasons he stated is that the market relies on the Fed for data. And when whatever the Fed says, the markets reflect that. Well, one of the best indicators of how the economy is doing overall that the Fed could use is the markets. That should be an economic indicator. But if the markets are looking to the Fed and the Fed's looking to the markets, it becomes an echo chamber and the data gets skewed very quickly. So he said that investors should, instead of looking to the Fed, look to fundamental analysis, look to the macroeconomic data, and actually sort through where they think the economy is going and make investment decisions based on that. This way, the Fed can then look to the markets as an indicator of how the economy is doing overall. Further, he said that the Fed should not make up for bad policy decisions by using convincing words to hold up the market. Instead, he wants to commit the Fed to right policy, which will silently work its way through the economy to produce the goals he wants to produce. And by the way, he doesn't think high inflation and low unemployment are oxymorons. He thinks we can achieve both at the same time, not giving up one for the other, grasping both at the same time. So in short, we'll see how he actually follows through on all of these grand promises. I really like what he's had to say. I really like the way he said it. He seems like a class act to me, a great statesman, a great team player who wants controversial opposing opinions to all come together to the right decision. But we'll see what happens. We're going to keep focusing on fundamentals. As always, we're committed to helping you build a firm foundation for your family's future.